How do, and welcome back. So I'm just preparing my next beer, which I'm going to be brewing at the weekend, and I'll probably film it and I'll upload it Sunday, something like that. And I'm going to start writing it down because I've decided I'm going to start keeping a diary, a journal of all the beers I do. And I thought, well, why don't I make a video and let you know what the next beer is. So it's going to be a kit-based beer. I'm going to use this Wilko Hoppy Copper Bitter, which is quite a popular or well-known beer amongst the UK homebrewers, especially those with a Wilko shop in their town. It's been a long time since I've brewed this, but from what I remember, it wasn't brilliant. It certainly wasn't hoppy, but it did have a nice copper colour. So what I've decided to do is pimp it, or mod it by adding some extra ingredients. My first worry is this is only a 1.5 kilogram tin, and the traditional bitter, which I reviewed in the last video, that was a 1.8 kilogram tin, but it's still quite watery. I think I actually said it was 1.7 in the video, but it's not. It's 1.8 kilogram. And I used a kilogram of brew enhancer, but it's still coming out quite thin. This is only 1.5, so rather than using a brew enhancer, what I've decided to do is to use the Cooper's light malt extract, liquid malt extract, which should give it a bit more body. Depending on how it tastes, I might also add a little bit of maltodextrin, about 100 grams, something like that, 70 grams. Again, that will help it with the body, but it will also help with a bit of head retention as well. So that's going to be the base, that's the fermentables. But what I've decided to do as well is add some unfermentables in the way of crystal malt. So this is specialty grain. Specialty grains do not give out fermentable sugars. All their sugars have been used up in the processing. So this is just for colour and for flavour, and I thought I'd use about 300 grams of the specialty malt. I think it's a medium crystal. EBC is 167 to 190, so I think that puts it in the medium crystal territory. 300 grams of this, which I'll steep in about 3 litres of water for half an hour. And then what I'll do is I'll transfer that 3 litres into a saucepan. I don't need to use my big brew kettle for this, so I'll just transfer it into a saucepan, and I'll bring that up to a boil to pasteurise it, and I'll boil it for 15 minutes. Now I don't have to boil it for 15 minutes, it's usually sterile or sanitised, pasteurised, just after a few minutes. 5 minutes is plenty. But what I want to do is add some hops. So I thought, well, if I'm bringing that to the boil, I might as well add the hops to the boil, and I'm just adding them for flavour. So I'm just going to add probably about 15 grams of First Gold, although that might change because I do have some Nelson I want to use up, and I think it's pronounced Machuaka, New Zealand hops. I've still got some of those left, so I might use those instead. But 15 grams of hops, which I will add to the grain liquid, and boil that for 15 minutes. And then I'll use that boiled water as my liquor in the fermenter to dissolve the extract kits into. And then I'll top it up to 23 litres and pitch the yeast and let it ferment. And depending on how it's tasting, I may also add, because to be honest, I'm just trying to use up stuff. I've got a bag of American bourbon barrel oak chips. So I may add about 10-15 grams of oak chips after the initial fermentation, so about day 5, day 6. Add some of those, about 10-15 grams, and let them sit for about a week, or until I feel it's oaky enough. And then what I'm going to do is transfer that to a pressure barrel. I've got another pressure barrel. The traditional bitter is in one of them. It's a ballyhoo pressure barrel, and I do like the traditional ales and the bitters served from a pressure barrel. It's got that nice creamy head, so I'm going to transfer it into here with the priming sugar, let it go through the secondary fermentation, and then yeah, I'll be able to pour a pint from here. So that's my next beer, that's what I'm planning. As I say, I'll probably be brewing it on Saturday. I'll probably upload it, if not Saturday, on Sunday. Just a nice simple beer. It's like for beginners, how to improve their kit beers just by adding a few simple extra ingredients and just 1 or 2 extra steps. Right, that's it. Oh yeah, I'm going to be writing it all down, keeping a diary, because I just forget. And if I think back and I think, that was a really nice beer, but I can't remember how I brewed it. I can't remember how I modded a kit or something like that. So I'm resolved to keep a homebrew diary, and then I can go back and yeah, recreate beers I've enjoyed. Right, well, I'm off for my dinner now because it's 5 o'clock. So thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you again in the next video. Bye bye for now.